Can employers legally take money from a tipped employee's tips? Imagine working hard serving customers and then finding out some of your tips might be taken away. It's a common question in the world of labor and employment law. Tips are meant to be the employee's property, but there are rules about how they can be handled. Let's break down what the law says about whether employers can take money from tips that tipped employees receive. First, tips given directly by customers are the property of the employee who receives them. Employers are not allowed to take those tips for themselves or share them with workers who do not usually get tips, like cooks or managers. This means employers cannot deduct tips from an employee's wages or requiring employees to share tips with non-tipped staff. Employers can ask tipped employees to participate in tip pooling. That means tips are collected and shared among employees who normally receive tips, like servers and bartenders. But the employer cannot take any part of those pooled tips. Tips cannot be shared with employees who do not usually get tips, such as dishwashers or supervisors. Employers are also not allowed to deduct money from a tipped employee's wages for things like broken dishes, customer non-payment, or losses caused by the employee. These deductions are illegal under wage and hour laws. There is a special rule called the tip credit. Employers can pay tipped employees a lower direct hourly wage, as low as $2.13 per hour, if the employee's tips make up the difference to reach at least the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. But employers must tell employees if they are using the tip credit and make sure employees keep all their tips. Employers cannot requiring tipped employees to work off the clock or do non-tip work without proper pay. They also cannot make employees pay for uniform cleaning or other job expenses out of their tips or wages. Finally, employees must report their tips to the employer for tax purposes. Employers are responsible for withholding taxes on tips that employees report, but they cannot take tips for themselves or withhold tips from employees. In simple terms, employers must pay tipped employees at least the minimum wage when combining wages and tips. They cannot take any of the tips for themselves or deduct money from tips unless it is legally allowed under specific rules. Following these laws helps make sure tipped workers get the full amount of income they earn from their tips. Not following these rules can lead to legal claims for unpaid wages and penalties.